Alright, let's do it. This is how you destroy a franchise! What? Put fat chicks in it?
I don't understand why these publishers and their CEOs think that it's a good idea to keep doing the same thing over and over again and think that it's somehow going to yield a better result. I mean, I do know why. It's because they think you're stupid. It's because they think that you're going to keep buying the same thing over and over again, and they also know...
Unfortunately, that is so true for so many people. They will just continue to buy it because they don't want to buy anything else and there's no other options. Welcome to monopolies.
That, well, investors love predictability. Investors love franchises. It's the only thing that they can...
That's why we're on the, what, the 7th Black Ops in a row? They just churn out the same crap over and over again?
Recognize in this industry, so that's what they want to invest in. But I don't know about you guys, but have you gotten to the point where you've just started to tune out a lot of these games? It's just the same thing over and over again at an ever-increasing speed, it feels like. And you know that these games are not going to deliver anything you like. You know that they're not going to deliver anything new. And you know that they're not going to deliver what these franchises were at their peak. It's like that meme of the farmer with a bunch of buckets and he's walking up to the same cow over and over again.
Milking it.
Cow's all dried up. We have a lot of dried up cows in this industry right now, and we're about to see another one. I was wrong about EA. Didn't take long for that to happen. It came out that after Battlefield 6, they're going...
What do you mean? They're the king of milking. Why are you surprised? What are we talking about? Huh? Nah, EA is unironically the king of milking.
To try to turn Battlefield into an annualized release like Call of Duty, which should come as no surprise. They already do that with their sports games, but how do you not look at your competition, see the damage that's done, and say, maybe we shouldn't do that? Who am I kidding?
Nah.
You're only looking at the money they're making. You know, franchises aren't the problem with this industry. Everybody has their favorites, but the issue is that the games industry has become just so obsessed with predictability, while the audience doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep playing the same games. I
also hate it when people metagame to shit. I really miss playing a game and not knowing if I'm doing the right thing until I talk to people online about it and figuring it out with a community. I'm honestly kind of sick of it. Like games that come out and then people have already played the beta and the alpha and they just figured everything out before everyone else, and it ruins the game for everybody because then metagaming starts to form on day one.
Don't want to keep expecting the exact same thing, and I don't think a lot of other people do either. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about the ongoing crisis of creative bankruptcy within this games industry, the slow death of our favorite franchises, and why the games industry thinks that it's a good idea when it never has been.
Yep.
But before that, a word from today's sponsor. You guys have helped me get so many more Displates. I have a whole box here. I have another box.
Dude, I low-key kind of want one. Yeah, is that bad?
Down there in the corner.
I kind of want one.
This video is sponsored by Displate. Yeah, that's right. They're back for more. With how much support you guys have shown through this channel, these guys have absolutely loaded me up with more metal posters than I know what to do with. When I move later this year, that full Displate wall is actually happening. That is not a joke. I got a full stack ready to go. If you guys have never seen one, Displate makes high-quality metal posters that mount magnetically. You stick it to the wall, line it up, and that's it. No tools, no frames, no wall damage. They are super easy to swap out or pack up if you're going to move, which is a big part of why I've stuck with them. And I mean, these guys have everything: retro games, movies, anime, fantasy, tech, custom art, textured finishes, even limited edition designs that sell out and never come back. There are millions of designs to choose from, and their quality is always great, and the install process literally takes seconds. So go to displate.com/@legendary drops or use my code legendary at checkout to get the best deal. Find something to actually make your space look like your own. Thank you to Displate for sponsoring today's video.
Thanks,
now, I don't want to get it twisted. This is an industry that runs on franchises. Diablo, Madden, Grand Theft Auto, Monster Hunter, Pokemon, Call of Duty. I could list well over 100 names if I wanted to, and I don't think...
Pokemon has been soulless since, like, Gen... I want to say 6. 5 or 6. Whatever's after Black and White, that's when it really fell off. X and Y was okay. Like, it was just like...
I'd be very far off in the assumption that the vast majority of money in this industry likely comes from those names. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Franchises build a lasting image in both the minds of players and publishers. We get familiar with their worlds. They become a part of our culture. Hell, sometimes they even become a part of people's identity and personality. I remember my old backpack was covered with Halo patches and pins. My binders had Halo stickers. It was all I thought about, all I talked about, all my friends talked about, and I was just one drop in an ocean of players that felt and acted the exact same way. There is a special kind of loyalty that develops from long-running franchises. It's a symbiotic relationship where we have something we love, experiences we can imagine it will deliver to us in the future, and publishers have an audience that is ready and waiting for the next release.
I think a lot of people also underestimate how much nostalgia people have for trying to escape from reality with how overworked people are. And they just want to be able to experience the feeling of basically trying to capture the feeling of when they didn't have a job. Because World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, a lot of other games that have been around for at least like 10 to 15, maybe even like 20 years, people will always try and look for a semblance of like normalcy. And that's what it felt like back in the day. Childlike whimsy, not even childlike whimsy, it's like, oh, well, I can try and chase that feeling down and try and get it back, even if it means overlooking all the garbage and all the bullshit that comes with it being released now in 2025.
But the games industry, and also Hollywood for that matter, seem to completely disrespect how delicate that balance is. You can easily overwhelm an audience with too much content. You can bombard them to the point where they're resistant, even immune to the very thing that they once loved. It's like eating your favorite food every day or playing the same song on repeat. No matter how much you enjoy it, eventually you're going to burn out. And now, riding on the wave of Battlefield 6's popularity, EA is...
Unless you're autistic, then you eat dino nuggies and peanut butter sandwiches.
Doing exactly that. We are now the popular girl that gave attention to the wrong guy, and now they're moving too fast, coming on too strong, and, well, we're likely going to regret ever texting them. In an article from Insider Gaming written by Tom Henderson titled "Battlefield is aiming to become an annual release within 5 to 6 years," it's claimed, they write, in a new video, industry analyst Michael Pachter claims that the general manager of the Battlefield franchise, Byron Bede, has told him that EA wants Battlefield to be an annual title. According to Pachter, he has spoken to Bede, who said that EA's goal is to have 3 studios working on the Battlefield franchise on a 3-year cycle so that they can release annually.
If I could be president, or like the president of the world for like one day, I would change a law and make it so the people that work on video games have to prove that they actually play the game, and put them into the games and have them be quizzed or like play against players that play it all the time, and like have them do like some sort of exam or like, I don't know, WoW GeoGuessr type of shit to like prove that they actually play the game. Because I feel like these people that say, I'm the general manager of the Battlefield franchise, Byron Bede, I don't think this guy actually plays the game. Dumb idea? I disagree. I don't think it's a dumb idea. I'm not saying they have to be good at the game, but at least show that they have show that they have some sort of passion behind what they try and produce. Because every 3 years they want to make a Battlefield or a video game, a Call of Duty, is not feasible when the game is trash on release, and then they graveyard update it constantly and make horrible decisions, and then they churn out the next Battlefield in 3 years, and it's just the same cycles. Good idea, which is why it won't happen. I know, it's just a fantasy of mine, like, actually have people playing the game. I miss when game devs actually showed up and played video games with the community. Even if they're bad. I know people say, oh, I'm scared of being trash and, like, being labeled as a bad gamer because I play on the game and I'm not great at it. But you don't have to be an amazing player, genuinely. You shouldn't be, because it just shows that you have a commitment and that you actually listen to the people. Or at least are part of the community.
Unsurprisingly, this is identical to Call of Duty's annual release model, but Pachter claims that the franchise is still
Not every 3 years, every 3 years with 3 different studios. Wait, what? Did I misread it? EA's goal is to have 3 studios working on the Battlefield franchise on a 3-year cycle so that they release annually. Wait, that's even worse than I thought. Oh my god, that's actually worse than I understood it the first time. Oh my god, that's so bad! Who wants to is. You're not making a video game. You're just shitting out shit on a plate.
Year cycle so that they can release annually. Unsurprisingly, this is identical to Call of Duty's annual release model, but Pachter claims that the franchise is still 5 to 6 years away from back-to-back annual releases. Insider Gaming reached out to Byron Bede for comment, but as of yet has not heard a response. This is why we can't have anything nice. The second that these companies see that players like something, their eyes light up and they immediately start dismantling the process that made it all work. And the wild part here is that Battlefield 6 isn't even a success yet. You still got to release the game. People still have a lot of questions about this game, about balance, about connection issues, about the anti-cheat requiring root level.
No. We'll just release a new one and then say it's fixed, and then it's not actually fixed, and we lied. Lamau. Because we already took your money and it doesn't matter.
Access, yet still letting cheaters through, about the size of the maps. You haven't won anything yet. You guys are already out here planning a victory parade and a book tour. Now, I will say, most of games media took the story and ran, much of it just basing it off of Practor's word with little else to go off of. However, back in July, EA CEO Andrew Wilson had already revealed this plan during an investor call, but nobody put it together. Reported on by Chris Scullion of Video Games Chronicle in an article titled EA CEO says it's all in as a company on Battlefield 6 is building a platform rather than a product.
People still give them money, man. I don't know. Like, it just really makes me wonder who are gamers anymore at this point. When are we gonna put our foot down, man? You're just consuming slop.
They write, Wilson replied that the company isn't treating Battlefield 6 like a single product.
Like, who here actually just wants to have Battlefield after Battlefield?
But rather as the start of a Battlefield platform with more details coming later this week. Certainly you're going to see a lot more in a couple of days, Wilson replied. We've been investing more behind this Battlefield than any Battlefield product before it. And really the big reason for that is this isn't just a product. We are building out Battlefield as a platform. You'll hear more about this in 2 days' time, and all will become clear about the nature of our investment over the last 4 years, with 4 studios building against this launch to date. Guys, when I say I don't understand how these CEOs have jobs, this is why. They invested everything behind this game, which at least seems like it's resulted in a great Battlefield game, but it was all built on the promise that they were going to turn Battlefield into a platform like Call of Duty. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, with the beta behind us, how do you not look at Battlefield 6's positive reception and attribute it to the fact that every single Battlefield studio worked on this game? DICE, Criterion, Motive, Ripple Effect, plus you guys made Battlefield Labs. EA, you do not have the talent to be able to pull off a quality Battlefield release without company-wide cooperation. You need a united effort because you, like every other publisher, have bled out most of your talent that made your games what they were at their peak. Do
you guys remember the interview with Steve Jobs, who said that at a certain point when you start becoming a company that becomes so big, you start losing what the product that you made initially, you lose that soul because the people that actually make the video game good, or the product, whatever it may be, they get pushed out and they get replaced by suits that just want to milk and, you know, milk you for every single penny that you have. You lose innovation. Yeah, I mean, it's prophetic. Genuinely, that was like what, in the 90s when he did that interview, and it still rings true to this day.
Already know that because most of those people went on to create Embark Studios that gave us the finals, and now they're about to drop Arc Raiders. Both of those games widely celebrated, showing just how integral those developers really were to your studios. And the irony of this entire situation is the reason why Battlefield looks like it actually has a chance to challenge Call of Duty is because EA went all in while Activision has been getting fat and comfortable doing the opposite, exploiting their fans, their studios, and their own franchises. I covered this in Activision is a Cancer, but while Call of Duty is one...
Activision just buys video games and churns them out for profit and then kills the studios when they fail.
The most profitable franchises on Earth and has been for nearly 2 decades. Their aggressive monetization,
we won't put our foot down because gaming strikes only last until the next cinematic trailer. Yeah, but what if the trailer sucks? That's the thing. That's the thing. What does it mean when the trailers suck and people aren't actually interested? I don't know. I agree with Asmund. It's like just one good cinematic trailer and you're good to go, but consumers have no self-control. Well, it's because they don't have like a competitor. That's what sucks about it.
This release schedule and declining quality has them on the edge. Black Ops 6 is sitting at the lowest player numbers that they have seen in years. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. After seeing that
Wait, didn't Blob 6 already come out? Like, when did it come out? God damn. I feel like Blob 6 came out like last year. Oh my god, it did come out last year. Holy shit. Oh my god, I thought I was going crazy. I was actually just like doubting myself for a minute. It came out last year in October. And now we're already talking about Black Ops 7?
Ops 7 trailer? It does not look like that game is going to fix it. The gameplay trailer looked like
fucking clankers.
Absolute garbage. It is getting fried online and ratioed.
Ooh, people didn't like that, huh?
On YouTube. And now, while I'd love to blame this all on crossover skins and shameless monetization, let's be honest, if the game was fun, if it played well, if it wasn't infested with cheaters, people wouldn't be nearly as angry about their games. But the real reason why the franchise is in the state that it's in today is because of the very annualized model that Battlefield now wants to copy. It is a short-sighted business strategy that's been left over by Bobby Kotick, who used it to be able to boost their revenues, inflate their shareholder numbers, and sell the company at its peak. Continuing down that path is only going to drive this franchise and the company straight into the ground. By forcing out a new game every year, none of these studios get a chance to breathe, no chance to collaborate, no time to refine the engine, no space to actually build an effective anti-cheat. Quality releases are abandoned in favor of...
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, if you only give them like a year to breathe and then you're on to the next thing and leaving the other thing discarded to the wayside, the exploitation of basically having to start from scratch and all that code and all of that work that people put in, it's just worthless. That's the idea, I guess. Just churn out the next thing, hope it doesn't break.
Strict schedule designed to squeeze players for all they're worth until the wheels fall off. When I interviewed Call of Duty...
I hate that we're at this point that we are making seasonal video games. We're not making seasons within a video game like Diablo or, I don't know, Path of Exile. We are unironically churning out video games like seasons. And I hate that system. I don't know, maybe it's just a personal preference, but I like keeping the same thing for at least like a certain period of time so it doesn't feel like I'm wasting my time every time I'm logging in a game or getting a new game.
Developers last year, they talked about how fragmented the design process has become, how segmented their teams are. Almost nobody knows what anybody else is working on, and more times than not, something built by another studio isn't...
That's like Borpo 101, separating the teams out. If you work in a corporate company and you're working in a subsection, you never talk about or talk to other people that are working on different parts of the company that maybe has like a project going. It'll be once a month they find a new way to have AI to make sellable video games. Oh, well, they already admitted to using AI for Call of Duty, so now they can churn it out even faster.
Even usable by the next. So when problems actually get solved in one game, those fixes can never carry forward. You're just digging your grave deeper and deeper every single year. Beyond that, I think releasing a new Call of Duty every single year, at this point, people are starting to just get sick of it. The top comment on Black Ops 7's trailer...
People have been fatigued since, like, 2014 of Call of Duty, just remaking and remastering and then churning out new ones.
Literally says, Black Ops 6 came out like a minute ago, bro. Another one reads, yes! Black Ops 8 coming out...
I literally said the same thing. I was like, am I crazy? Did the last Black Ops not come out like a year ago?
During 7's beta. This is where we're at. The entire franchise just become a meme of itself. So I remember the massive sigh of relief that people let out back in 2022 when Activision had announced that they were going to be stepping away from the annualized model to give developers a little bit more time to work on the game.
Yeah, right. And then they changed their mind.
And hopefully release a higher quality game as a result of it. And then they immediately went back on it with Modern Warfare 3, one of the worst entries in the entire series. And I don't really think that things have improved since then. How do you not learn from that? How do you not see the disaster that franchise is headed towards and take notes? That's what a competitor would do. That's what a real competitor would do. Nope. Learn from the mistakes of your rival, not repeat them, and then strike their weaknesses. But what am I saying? This industry doesn't compete anymore. They don't even know how to. EA, like every other company, gets one whiff of success and they sprint to join the systematic annihilation of quality.
That's why battle royales are so fucking overdone and overchurned after Fortnite's success as well. Then everybody started doing their stupid battle royale copies, and then they were upset when it didn't succeed.
All for a taste of annualized profits. It's the only thing that these guys care about.
I absolutely despised back in like 2019 and 2020 everybody churning out their own freaking battle royale. I got so sick of that shit.
And I'm sure that EA probably thinks that they're...
Fortnite's the copy? Yeah, but Fortnite was the successful copy and it made it better. And now it's kind of like... I don't know how Fortnite is now, but I feel like it's just been kind of stagnant, no? Yeah.
Going to be able to pull it off because they've already done it with their sports franchises, but it won't work here. Annualized releases only work in a cornered market when players feel like they don't have any other choice. Battlefield's one shot at relevance is being the alternative to Call of Duty. By copying them, you are erasing that distinction. You are removing the anticipation, the chance to deliver a higher quality experience, and the ability to respond to players' tastes as they change over time. Instead, you're competing purely on popularity at that point, and that is a fight that Battlefield and EA are not equipped to win. EA is going to take the same model that is dragging one franchise into the dirt and apply it to theirs. And the cost isn't just going to be the game itself. It's going to be the players who are going to lose variety, lose innovation, and also just eventually lose the reason to care. And that last part is particularly deadly because, yes, I know Call of Duty still sells like crazy. I mean, people were sighing at the Xbox reveal of Black Ops 7. Saw a lot of people that were disappointed in that, especially with the way that Phil Spencer kind of led up to the entire thing. Oh, long legacy franchise. He made it sound like it was something we haven't seen before, haven't seen in a long time. It was just Call of Duty. And while I also have seen the reception to the Gamescom trailer, which, woof, that does not look good, it's still going to sell. People will buy games out of nostalgia. People will buy games out of habit.
Nostalgia has such a strong grip on people's balls.
And we will oftentimes buy things outside of our best interests. I do it all the time. I feel like everybody does. But I still think that that has an expiration date. Especially,
you can tell Battlefield is going after comp players with how they're pushing these smaller maps and more aggressive game modes in the beta. You know, it's like... I think that's a good thing, but at the same time, like, Battlefield has had its myriad of issues, and I feel like the money that they're going to get from the COD players that hop on the Battlefield train and say, yeah, fuck Activision, or fuck Call of Duty, I'm a Battlefield gamer now. I don't think it's gonna go down like a good path. That's the problem.
Especially regarding some of these franchises and how much they've lost quality over the years. I mean, look at how volatile the industry has been. There's been so many games that people thought that were going to succeed that failed. There's been a lot of games that the industry thought were dead ringers, but the players are like, that's dead on arrival. The players were right.
DOA.
You know, I just made a video talking about how Gen Z has effectively just stopped buying new games with less money to spend and less reason to spend because the games are lowering in quality. And with younger generations not necessarily invested in a lot of these franchises to begin with, I don't understand why these guys think that it's going to be a good idea to oversaturate the market. You know, this is basic economics. If demand is falling and spending is falling, and you're out there cranking out a new release every single year, increasing the stocks in the market, increasing the supply within the market, and on top of that, increasing the price at the exact same time, why?
People are still going to stop buying,
why would you do something like that? Now, to their credit, Battlefield isn't going to be able to do an annualized release for another 3 to 6 years, is what they said. But if Battlefield 6 blows up the way that it looks like it's going to, I guarantee these guys are going to slam on the gas as quickly as they can. And if they do, that's a bad thing. They're going to lose a lot of money. Now, mind you, that's a lesson that they might have to learn themselves. But personally, as somebody that likes Battlefield, I don't really want to see that happen. You know, franchises might be the lifeblood of this industry, but they're also its greatest weakness, because when you look across the board, how many of these franchises have actually gotten better with time? How many more?
I can't say, like, any of the really big AAA games have gotten better. The Witcher did? Oh, we'll see about Witcher 4. Monster Hunter? Monster Hunter hasn't gotten better. Wilds was a fumble, but I believe Capcom will learn from that. I don't know, you guys. I played Monster Hunter World, and I liked it a lot more than Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, a lot more. Even the writing, even the non-existent writing. Street Fighter? I don't know about Street Fighter. Devil May Cry? I guess. Final Fantasy? I don't know. I don't play Final Fantasy apart from 14. Worlds was better. I liked it better in release than I see Wilds. Wilds was just so uninteresting. I blasted through the game. I just didn't feel like I was challenged at all, and the writing was horrendous. And to top it off, apparently, that Wild still has optimization issues, and it's been like, what, 6 months since release?
More of them have been dragged into either mediocrity or just straight into the gutter. I can tell you, it's a lot more on one side than the other, especially lately.
GTA?
This entire ecosystem.
GTA especially, I mean, Rockstar hasn't... I mean, Rockstar's still okay. Like, they're doing pretty good, but I just feel like everybody's expectations of GTA 6 is gonna honestly be so high that it's gonna be disappointing to people no matter what, because they've been hyping this shit up for fucking years.
Is overly leveraged on nostalgia.
We'll see.
And a lot of these younger generations, they don't owe anything to any of these games or any of these franchises. So if the industry doesn't make these games worthwhile for them, they're just going to let them die without a second thought.
Good.
When I sat down to write for this video, I asked myself an honest question. How many franchises have actually gotten better with time? Now, this is going to be something that's subjective. Sure, everybody's going to have a different list than mine, or they're going to have some different opinions than...
Yeah, but majority will always be, like, more truthful. There's always going to be people that are going to be like, oh, well, you know, it's not that bad. It's like, yeah, well, you should look at the other games that are available that compete with them.
Fine, if for whatever reason my opinions offend you, well, you're probably watching the wrong channel, but Mario, Zelda, Resident Evil, FromSoft Games, Persona, maybe a couple of others. Some fighting or racing games, but I don't really play those kind of games, and that's about it. Maybe I'm forgetting one or two, but...
Racing games have gotten way worse than what they used to be. 100%. My brother loved Forza, and he loved Forza back in the day. Now he never plays that shit. Ah, we're lagging again. Wonderful. Okay. It's like 30 minutes on the dot, man. It's so bad. Ugh. I'm sorry, we'll wait. Most Wanted 2005 was the best of all time. Yeah, don't even get me started on that, man. I liked Need for Speed Underground. I think 1 and 2 were awesome. Need for Speed Most Wanted was like the best. We're back. Okay. Aren't they remastering as well? Like Need for Speed Most Wanted? I can't wait for them to shit it up. That was a quick one. Yeah. Sorry about that. Stupid ass freaking lag. At least it wasn't too bad, right? Yeah, refresh please. If you can help it. Yeah. Most Wanted was the GOAT. Yeah, I was fucking sick, man. I don't know, I miss it. You can't even play it now. You have to like pirate it and play it. It's a fan-made project. Oh, it is? Yeah. Gran Turismo. Yeah, my brother loved Gran Turismo and Forza. He loved like racing games, but I only liked Need for Speed. Cause it was more like for fun. It wasn't like super serious. Anyway, let's carry on. Sorry about that.
Holy shit, it feels like most of these franchises suck now. I mean, Halo's in the gutter. Pokemon somehow gets worse with every single release. Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed are just general market slop with no flavor. Dragon Age is likely finished after the Veilguard. Doom Eternal ripped, but Dark Ages is honestly one of the most boring games that I played this year.
True, Doom was such a disappointment.
Elder Scrolls and Fallout are likely just kind of question marks at this point because, I mean, Starfield has me doubting that entire studio's future. Monster Hunter is kind of the same now because I loved Wilds for about the first 60 hours, but
the Oblivion remaster was a big W, but again, it was a remaster of an absolutely stellar game.
I haven't put a quarter of the time that I sunk into World. The performance is rough in that game and still hasn't improved, and honestly, it just feels too easy. If I had the time, I would want to sit down and audit almost every single major franchise because I have a strong feeling that most of them are not doing nearly as well as they should be. And I think that there are a lot of reasons for that, but I think the biggest one is probably just time. The people that created these franchises are no longer at these studios anymore, and the people that are making them now just don't understand what the original motivations were. You know, a few years back, I tried joining a metal band again, and they had already had like a album's worth of songs ready, and on paper, this entire thing should have worked. We had the same taste in music. They were a metalcore band. I was a metalcore rhythm guitarist, but everything clashed. Nothing actually sounded good.
I like metalcore. I'm a chud.
We're from the same genre, but we had a completely different tone, and that's
fine. By the way, I like that metal. There's different types of metalcore within the subgenre. Yo, Ray, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Hi.
what I would imagine game design is like. You can swap out one creative for another. You can hand them the blueprint, but it doesn't matter because different people make different things, and nothing is ever going to come out the same for better or for worse. But beyond that, priorities have changed. I mean, the AAA industry just is not as talented as it used to be. It used to be visionaries, but they don't have visionaries anymore because visionaries are risks, and risks...
I'm hoping there's some sort of gaming renaissance in like maybe 10 years. I'm so tired.
Do not look good on a quarterly report. Instead, these publishers see these franchises as dependable, reliable sources of income that should only increase year over year, and changing anything outside of the audience that they're aimed at doesn't make any sense to them. Yoko Taro, the creator of Nier, had a presentation at GDC where he talked about how predictable games have become, and he flat out said that there aren't enough weird people making games, and I think that
True, honestly. So based.
He's right. I mean, sure, there's a lot of weird people in the games industry right now, but they're all weird in the...
Not in the right way, I was about to say. Too many normies? Yeah, because they get hired through nepotism or like... DEI too. Oh my.
Wrong way. We're getting weird ideas without good ones because instead of taking chances on genuinely unique creators, the industry has kind of feigned weirdness by showcasing these socially awkward people in game trailers and announcements while on the...
You know what's a decent game dev company, even though it has a myriad of problems with like mods and listening to community feedback and all that? RuneScape. You look at a RuneScape dev, when you look at them, it's a big boy with glasses on, he's balding, and he says he's 99 on almost every single skill. I'm telling you, man, there's something about it, dude. The casual Redditor? Nah, but he actually plays the game. Mod Ash, my goat! No, I'm serious! I don't think it's a bad thing for them to be, you know, big, portly, fucking, British people with bald spots and glasses on, and they kind of breathe heavy. I don't know, man. It's all the dudes that grew up low-lifing it. Yeah, because they actually care about the game, and they love it, and they're a little bit weird, and they're funny.
Back end, just doubling down.
Those are the best people to play video games with because they don't take themselves too seriously either, and you can actually joke and banter around with them. Again, I can't help but preface that RuneScape has its problems. We've talked about it before with RuneScape 3 and the fucking Pride event shit that they ended up pulling out because things are changing. I understand that, and all the fucking mod stuff in between there. But in the essence of itself, that's why RuneScape is so successful.
Unpredictable returns. They have
pushed
real voices out, and now those people are in indie, they're in AA, or they're running their own studios, and as a result, we've seen this really sharp contrast where the franchise-driven AAA space has become painfully homogenous, while indie keeps standing out, being fresh, unique, and interesting. Now, don't think I'm weird for saying this, but out of all of the franchises I can think of, one of the ones that I respect the most, even though it's definitely stumbled and lost some relevance, is Final Fantasy. I don't understand.
Ah, fuck, I pressed the wrong button. Fuck me, sorry. Right here. Sorry, there's a button on the side of my mouse, and I just press it and it goes back.
Personally, I would like to see them go back to their roots and be a turn-based game. I think Expedition 33 just showed how badly that is missing from the market right now, but at least Square Enix experiments, and when they do it, they're doing it in ways that aren't safe. Final Fantasy 16 was essentially Devil May Cry, and they hired the guy from Devil May Cry.
I like this. This is cool.
To make the game. That is not a safe choice. It pushed a lot of their
It kind of gives me Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Solid vibes.
Hardcore audience away, but at least it was bold. Final Fantasy VII, the remakes are probably the direction that the series...
Is it actually cool and like cool to play?
is going to stick with, and I think that those games are fantastic, but what I really respect the most out of them is not a single entry has ever felt phoned in. You can feel the effort even when the execution is flawed.
People say it's mediocre. Yeah, it was mid, it was okay. So it was just okay? But it wasn't bad. Like, you didn't think it, like, oh god, I wasted my time. It was fine. No, it wasn't bad. Okay, well, I mean, at least that's something.
The Final Fantasy 15 game that was panned for its brain-dead combat and how rushed the second half of the game was, that game still had a fascinating world. The fishing was essentially Bass Pro level. The story was interesting, and it had some moments that really stuck.
I mean, again, I'm hyped watching this. Like, let me be honest. I don't really care for Final Fantasy that much, but yeah.
Final Fantasy 16 went through the exact same ordeal, but the story and characters were peak. That Titan fight was insane, and the Bahamut fight is likely going to go down as one of my favorite moments in gaming.
Fucking Ifrit.
When I look at that franchise, I can see the effort, I can still see the soul, and I think a lot of other people can too, and maybe that's why nobody's truly given up on it. But when I look at some of
these... As a shonen girl, this is awesome to me.
These other franchises... I cannot say the same thing. Sick. Either some of them do not want to experiment, or when they do, well, they just completely miss the mark. You cannot feel the same soul of these franchises. You cannot see the effort. You cannot see the vision. And in a lot of cases, these guys have just completely lost sight of who their audience actually is. They're stuck trying to split the difference, appealing to these fans that are there for nostalgia,
or even worse, trying to cater to a group of people that don't care, and they just want to cater to them because they want new people. Oh, I don't like Final Fantasy. There's too much power leveling, and there's too much talking. It's like, okay, well then go play something else.
Also trying to chase these younger audiences, and in that, trying to be everything, they end up being nothing, and that's why so many of these series have fallen apart. You take the loss of talent, mix it with an unclear idea of who the audience even is in the first place, and then you get these aimless experiences that are too bland, too broad, and built for everyone and no one at the exact same time.
That WoW absolutely fucking fell through that. Blizzard shit the bed and decided to make the game for everybody as opposed to the people that made the game, awesome. I think that really showed back in, like, Cataclysm. MoP was the first time where you'd realize that it was genuinely shifting to a more casual audience, and that's when WoW kind of dived. It drove away a lot of people. The result is these games that just don't have any core identity anymore. Instead of leaning into what made them work, publishers feel like they're being forced to re-engineer the foundations in ways that don't even fit a lot of these games, and they just keep telling... Yes, and they made it a seasonal game, which we also addressed with the whole Call of Duty thing. I totally agree. It pissed me off that you couldn't just stop playing the game for like a month or two without it being like, fuck, now I have to catch up, I have to learn all these new systems and all that shit. It's just tiresome.
Telling themselves that this is the best way for them to bring in more players, but it doesn't. On the other hand, in some of these cases, these franchises don't even need to change at all. Dragon Age did not need modern-day social commentary. It did not need Tosh. It did not need a magic mirror to ask me who I really am on the inside. It needed good combat, sick boss fights, meaningful choices, good versus evil, and build variety. Doom does not need a backstory for the Slayer. Nobody cares. All people want to do is just tear demons apart in the most brutal ways possible. But this industry has convinced themselves that reinvention equals growth, and in doing so, they've eroded their own brands. The audience that they're chasing isn't even listening to these guys, and the ones that they had are now walking...
You can literally say that about Halo as well. Nobody cared about fucking Mr. Halo taking off his freaking helmet. It's crazy. Why did they dumb down the kill animations in Doom? Oh, because they're not important. That's probably what they said.
Away, and the irony of all this is that the energy that is going into changing these games is going into changing them in the wrong way, while the actual quality of the experience is getting ignored. Nobody is stopping to ask the obvious, what if we just made the experience better? What if we just doubled down on what our core fan base actually loves?
What the hell was that animation? Excuse me?
To ask the obvious, what if we just made the experience...
Look at the guy dying in the corner.
...experience better? What if we just doubled down on what our core...
Oh my god, that was bad. Oh my lord. Sorry, I was listening to what he was saying. I was just like in shock of this animation, this death frame. Look.
It's better. What if we just double down on what our core fan base actually loves about it? These guys have completely missed the idea that quality does not limit reach, it expands it, making your job a hell of a lot more simple. But instead of expanding, these franchises have started to shrink. Every shortcut, every missed opportunity to invest in quality has chipped away at the very thing that made these games dependable in the first place. They were supposed to be a foundation the industry could...
Fart face 1998. Dude, sorry, my ADHD can't handle when people play games and they talk. Yeah, it's hard for me because I just saw this guy's username. Fart face 1998. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Foundation the industry could build on, but now they're showing cracks everywhere. The more publishers lean on them as safe bets, the less safe they're actually becoming. And that's a real problem because these franchises are not stabilizing the industry anymore. They're dragging it down. Publishers are thinking they're safe bets, but they're incredibly brittle. The moment any of them stumbles, it's not just a bad quarter, it's the entire studio that's getting shut down. Thousands of jobs that are being wiped out and players that are being left with nothing. These games...
And then a game will succeed and they'll still shut down the studio anyway. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, they have no standards. Oh, it didn't make enough money, let's shut it down.
But now they've turned into weights. And I think what makes matters worse pretty much across the board is that their entire strategy of using these franchises hinges on nostalgia, on the idea that players will always come back to them because they have in the past. But if younger generations don't have that attachment, what are you going to do? I mean, these guys do not remember these franchises and what they were at their peak. And honestly, a lot of them don't care to carry a lot of these games forward. If these games aren't good, they're just going to walk away. And I think that's the danger that nobody in this industry is willing to admit, that by tying your revenue so tightly to this shrinking pool of aging franchises, publishers aren't just making bad games, they're gambling with the foundation of their very business.
True.
Because once the nostalgia well runs dry, once some of us start to age out of the hobby, once younger audiences start to move on, there's not...
I think when audiences start to age out, the companies start to think that they have to change the game with them. Because if I understand correctly, let's assume most people were around about high school age when Wrath of the Lich King or Cataclysm came out. They started to think, like, how do we capture a wider audience, because there's going to be less people playing our game because they're getting older and they're having kids or like, getting their career started. And I think a lot of those people don't understand that if you really, really enjoy a game, even if you have kids or you have a career, you will go out of your way to play those games. I don't know, maybe I'm coping and that's not what corpos think, and they just did it because it'll milk more money because they get more players or they get to churn out more video games, but I don't know. I think that the aging up of like certain games that have been around for like 10 to 20 years has affected like companies' outlook on how they can sustain a population base. And force your kids to play them? Yeah, start farming gold, Timmy!
Going to be anything left to be able to hold these series up. And when that happens, it won't just be the end of a franchise, it's going to be the end of a lot of these companies who have built their entire futures on it. I mean, what if, and this is going to sound crazy.
What?
Have you ever thought about the fact that Gen Z and Gen A may just not like your franchise or not be interested in it?
Kids won't. Dude, I am so fucking sick of people saying, oh, Gen Z and Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't like MMOs because they're old. And I'm like, it's because there's no good MMOs. Do you realize that people started playing WoW back when they were like little kids because their parents were also playing them, dude? It's so fucking stupid. The logic is just retarded.
Regardless of whatever you do to it, tastes and generations change. They're looking for different experiences. We see that all the time, right? I mean, there's not a lot of things that my parents' generation are interested in that I'm interested in. And you're just going to continue to try to force it. And while you're doing that, well, you're just going to push away the audiences that you do have while chasing an audience that you'll never get. I mean, a lot of these franchises never even really started off on the right foot when it came to a lot of these younger generations in the first place. I mean, they've been listening to millennials talk about how Halo was the greatest thing ever, but these guys got...
Yeah, then you go and play Halo and you're like, man, this fucking sucks. That's what I mean. They hear people saying, oh, WoW used to be so great, and then they go and play fucking retail, and then they're like, oh, man, this kind of blows, not gonna lie. Yeah.
Infinite and Guardians. Dragon Age, we're probably never going to see that again. How do you explain to some of these younger generations that that studio at one point in time made the Baldur's Gate series and then show them what Larian did with it and then show them Dragon Age the Veilguard?
Yeah, night and day difference.
It doesn't even make any sense. You know, right now, AAA, I think that the entire industry is largely fueled by impulsive, nostalgia-fueled millennial spending. That's going to dry up at one point in time. And the other problem that they're running into as well is that the millennial crowd, and probably even folks that are older than that too, are exasperated. They're frustrated with the state of a lot of the franchises and what they're in because a lot of these companies have ruined them, and they're going out and they're talking shit online. They're dunking on these games, dragging them through the mud, and likely scaring
these freaking boomers don't know what they're talking about.
Off any other audience.
Stop catering to millennials as a millennial. Stop catering to casuals. I don't know. I feel like there has to be a mix of like both casual and non-casual, and the people that will absolutely play your game because you are. Stop catering. But okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe we just make a good game and then you see people play it, and then you don't have to cater to people that won't play the game no matter what. And that's what you should do. You have to target an audience. I mean, again, you can target an audience all you want, but catering to everyone makes it bad. What are you doing? What does it look like I'm doing? First time chatter? Doing your mom.
Maybe these guys should probably take the time to think about trying to sell to other audiences through the audience that you already have. In some cases, and this is probably going to make a few people upset, maybe it's time for some of these franchises just to go out to greener pastures. Let them go. Sorry, Old Yeller. You were good to me, but you're not any good anymore.
We need to gatekeep the tourists too. The tourists that tried to censor Zenless Zone Zero, and then the player base that actually loved the game and plays it all the time pointed out that they were trying to censor the game, and they immediately backpedaled on it. They were like, we gotta go back. We're gonna lose our player base. Good.
It just might be the way. Maybe it's time to let some of these studios try to make their own thing. Stop trying to force these developers to live in somebody else's house. Stop trying to make these developers wear somebody else's shoes that they obviously cannot fill. Maybe it's time to start trying to make the new franchise by not actually making a franchise in the first place. I can't imagine that the vast majority of the most popular franchises that we see today actually came from the idea of thinking that they were going to make a game that was going to be made for 20 years straight.
True.
I don't know. That's what I think. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. We hit 400,000 subscribers.
Wow.
We are the champions. Thank you. Family.
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 Family. Family.
Family.
Family.
Anyway.
Family. Family.
Stay
Family.
Cool. Stay righteous. Stay safe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
I like this guy. Peace. Family. 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 Chat, that's you. That's you right there. Except you're green.
We are the champions.
Except you're green and you have tails. Yeah, you guys are these guys. Jeez. This is you. That was really good. That was a fun little video. Did this video talk about the new Black Ops 7 trailer? If not, you should check it out. I already saw it. It's such ass. It's so bad. They're like, yeah, new maps. I even pointed out that I thought that Black Ops 6 came out last year, and I thought I was memory holing myself, and it's been like 2 years, but it's barely been a year. It's literally going to be a year, and it's in October. It has been 10 months, and they're already thinking about releasing another one. New Blops, bro, new Blops. Time to spend $90. It's crazy, man. I hate that shit.